In this session, we're going to talk about how to tune your dobro if it's equipped with the Hipshot Doubleshot. The Hipshot Doubleshot is a mechanism that allows your dobro to have two separate tunings on one dobro, a lower tuning and a higher tuning. In this case, we're going to focus on the lower tuning being an open D tuning and the higher tuning being the open G tuning, both quite common with dobro. Let's get started. In order to tune the lower tuning, we'll need to disengage the lever of the Hipshot Doubleshot. You'll lift up and pull it down. We'll be tuning all the strings using the tuning keys at the headstock. So let's discuss the notes of the open D tuning first. So it's string 6 is a D, string 5 is an A, string 4 is another D, string 3 is an F sharp, string 2 is an A, and string 1 is another D. It should sound like this. Here's the sequence that I use to tune the strings in the lower tuning. I'll start off with string 4, which is a D note. Then I'll move to string 6, which is another D note. It's an octave lower. And then I'll move to string 1, which is another D note. It's an octave higher. Once I get those in, I'll hit strings 6, 4, and 1, which are the D notes together, to make sure that they're ringing true. Next, I'll move on to string 5 and string 2, which are the A notes. I'll get string 5, and then I'll hit string 2, both A notes. Then I'll intentionally strike every string but string 3 because I want to hear what the first and the fifth of the chord sounds like. In this case, it's a D note and an A note. We know that the A note is the fifth, and a perfect fifth and a root when tuned with the tuner should sound real nice and in tune. So I'm going to hit 6, 5, 4, 1, and 2. I've intentionally left out the third string because I want to hear what this sounds like together. I know that if I've got these strings close and really good in tune, that the third string will be easier. Then I move on to the third string, which is the F sharp note. You can tune it with the tuner. Sometimes you have to flatten it. We won't know that until we blend it in with the other strings. And the way I determine that is I'll hit 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, and then 3, the third string last, to see that it's all blending together and that there's no wave in it. Sounds pretty good. Let's move on to the open G tuning. To tune the higher tuning, we're going to need to re-engage the Hipshot Doubleshot. So I'm going to take the lever, pull it up, push down, you'll feel it lock into place. This time, instead of using the tuning keys at the headstock to tune the strings, we're going to use the fine tuning screws up on the Hipshot Doubleshot to pull the strings into tune. So let's discuss the open G tuning to make sure you've got the notes. So it's basically GBD, GBD. It's the sixth string is a G, fifth string is a B, fourth string is a D, and it repeats. Third string is a G, second string is a B, and the first string is a D. The sequence that I use to tune this higher tuning, I'll start with the third string, which is the G note. I want to make sure it's in tune. It looks to be a little bit flat, so I'm going to disengage the Hipshot Doubleshot. I find this to be a little bit easier to turn the fine tuning adjustment screws. And I'm going to go to the third string, and I'm going to tune the fine tuning adjustment screw on that third string. I'm going to tighten it just a little bit, and then I'm going to re-engage the Hipshot Doubleshot, and now I'm in tune. I'm going to move on to the sixth string, which is the other G note. It's a little flat as well. Again, this is just me. I prefer to disengage the Hipshot Doubleshot, go to the fine tuning adjustment screw on string 6, and tighten it just a little bit. Re-engage the Hipshot Doubleshot, and then I'll hit string 3 and 6 together. That's the two G notes. I want to make sure they're in tune. Then I move to string 4, which is a D note. In this case, it's in. And then I'm going to move to string 1, which is the other D note. Looks to be a little flat. Again, this is just me. I like to disengage the Hipshot Doubleshot. Go to the first string fine tuning adjustment screw, tighten it just a little bit, re-engage the Hipshot Doubleshot. And I'm hitting the 2 D notes, they sound good together. At this point I like to stop and check out my G and my Ds to make sure that they're ringing in tune together. Again, it's that root note and a perfect fifth. With the guitar tuner, when you tune this way, they tend to really tune nicely that way. So I'm going to check string 6, 4, 3, and 1. 6, 4, 3, 1 to check and see that we're in tune there. Once I know that I'm in tune there, I'm going to go to string 5, which is going to be a B note. I'm in on the tuner. And I'm going to go to string 2, which is another B note. And in this case, it sounds good. I'm going to brush all 6 strings, starting with string 6, and I'm going to listen to see that it's in tune. Which it sounds good there. Now when I disengage the Hipshot Doubleshot to go to the lower tuning, it should be in tune there as well. When I re-engage the Hipshot Doubleshot back up to the higher tuning, the open G,